Hello, I'm Sally Lloyd-Jones, author of the Jesus Storybook Bible, which tells the story of God's wonderful, never stopping, never giving up, unbreaking, always and forever love. Welcome to the show. Christmas is coming. How exciting! We're now in that period called Advent, a time of waiting. Advent means arrival or coming. But who's arriving? Who's coming? What are we waiting for? A favourite writer who died this year, Reverend Frederick Buechner, tells a beautiful Christmas story. I'm going to read it to you. One Christmas Eve, exhausted, about to go to bed, having put all the presents under the tree, I remembered that our neighbour had asked us to feed his sheep every day he was gone. The snow was falling. This was Vermont. My brother and I went down the hill to feed the sheep. We went into the barn and we got the bales of hay. We took them out into the sheep shed, cut the string, turned on the 40-watt bulb and began scattering the hay. The sheep came bumbling up, getting close to it, with the smell of the hay, the smell of the sheep, and the snow coming down. All of a sudden, I realized where I was. I was in the manger, and I almost missed it. I was in this holy place, and I might not even have seen it. I happened to see it. It seems to me that in a way, you could say that the world itself is a manger where God is continually being born into our lives, into the things that happen to us. Most of the time, if you are like me, you are looking the other way. End quote. What a wonderful reminder to us as we head into Advent. And what a beautiful prayer to pray this Christmas, that we would not be looking the other way, that we wouldn't miss it, that we would see that God would be born into our lives again this Christmas, that we would not miss him. I wrote a Christmas story about that same hope and that same prayer, that we not be looking the other way. The idea came to me when I was thinking about when God at last comes down into the world as a baby, how almost everyone was looking the other way, how almost everyone missed it. Almost everyone. But Romans 8, verse 19, speaks of all creation longing. And I wondered, when the one who made the animals and the birds and the seas and the mountains came down to earth, did they know it, though we didn't? When the promised gift, the long-awaited one, at last breaks into history, when he at last comes down into his world that he made, did creation celebrate? The story is called Song of the Stars. This is what Tim Keller said about it. Quote, "The Psalms tell us that the created order now declares the glory of God. How fitting, then, to imagine the animals and stars sensing and rejoicing in the coming of Christ the first time." So, without ado, let me read you this lovely book called Song of the Stars. Now, I'll have to remind you again, you will have to use your imaginations as you listen, because you're not seeing the stunningly beautiful illustrations by Ellison J. But perhaps you'll check them out afterwards. They are glorious. So anyway, as an old British children's story hour used to say, if you're sitting comfortably, then we'll begin. Song of the Stars. The world was about to change forever, and it almost went by unnoticed. But the leaves that night rustled with a rumour. News rang out across the open hills. A song drifted over the fields. The wind whispered it softly in the sycamore trees that waved their moonlit branches to the sky. A barn owl took flight. Woodland creatures stirred. It's time. It's time. In the pine woods, 2 deer raised their heads. A big brown bear sniffed the air. A red fox darted. The faces of little flowers lifted to the skies. It's time. It's time. The skies shouted it to the seas, that thundered it to the waves, that roared it to the great white whales, that sang it to the starfish in the deep. and tiny sandpipers danced it on shining sands. It's time! It's time! The running rivers bounded over boulders, and the otters clapped and played and sang, to the ducklings that splashed and quacked, to the salmon that leapt and leapt, and tiny field mice and insects and little creeping things and sparrows and robins and every single blade of grass, they all squeaked and hummed and chirped and sang, "It's time! It's time!" Wild stallions drummed it to the ground. Get ready, be glad, be glad. On a lonely peak, a lion raised his strong head and roared it out to the empty wilderness. The mighty king, the Prince of Peace. And all the stars joined together in a chorus that rang out through the heavens, the bright and morning star. And on a hillside, overlooking a little town, sheep nuzzled their new lambs. The Good Shepherd. Suddenly, angels lit up the whole sky, and a great choir sang it out loud. It's time! He's come at last! He's here! And in the little town, in a little shed, in a little window, a candle flickered in the dark, and a tiny cry rang out in the cold night air. And high above, a single star, set in the highest heavens, shone out brighter than all the others and poured down silver onto the little shed, a light to light up the whole world. The animals stood around his bed, and the whole earth and all the stars and sky held its breath. The one who made us has come to live with us. And a young mother with no place to rest, nowhere to stay, kept it as a song inside her heart. Our rescuer. And they gazed in wonder at God's great gift, lying on a bed of straw, wrapped in rags, a tiny little baby. Heaven's son, sleeping under the stars that he made.